coming to you from an unknown location, at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, bringing you the unknown. Welcome to another spine-tingling episode of Paranormal 411. Your hosts are David Reagan and Jason Scott, and together, they dive headfirst into the mysteries that lurk just beyond our understanding, featuring notable experts ready to share their insights into the world of the strange and unknown. So pull up a chair, pour a cup of something warm, and prepare to be enthralled. Here at Paranormal 411, we're not just a radio show, we're a community of truth seekers, adventurers of the mind, exploring the boundaries of the known and unknown. We invite you to join us, to share your thoughts, your experiences, your questions. Whether you've had your own encounter with the supernatural or you're simply intrigued by the inexplicable, we want to hear from you. So, don't be shy. Drop a comment and let's unravel the mysteries of the universe together. Buckle up as we journey beyond the veil of the ordinary, into the heart of the extraordinary. This is Paranormal 411, where the inexplicable meets reality and imagination takes flight. Stay tuned and remember, in the world of the paranormal, nothing is as it seems.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucer. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazel was the man who discovered the saucer. Colonel William Blanchard of the Roswell Air Base refuses to give details of what the flying disc looks like. In Fort Worth, Texas, where the object was first sent, Brigadier General Roger Ramey says that it is being shipped by air to the AAF Research Center at Wright Field, Ohio. A few moments ago, I talked to officials at Wright Field, and they declared that they expect the so-called flying saucer to be delivered there, but that it hasn't arrived as yet. In the meantime, General Ramey describes the object as being of flimsy construction, almost like a box type. He says that it was so battered that he was unable to determine whether it had a disc form, and he does not indicate its size. Ramey says that so far as can be determined, no one saw the object in the air, and he describes it as being made of some sort of tinfoil. Other Army officials say that further information indicates that the object had a diameter of about 20 to 25 feet, and that nothing in the apparent construction indicated any capacity for speed, and that there was no evidence of a power plant. The disc also appeared too flimsy to carry a man. Now, back to Taylor Grant in New York.
So you know what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. So, what's funny about that is that you kind of get to see the progression of,
Yes.
Oh, this was found. Oh, look, they've even got one of the discs that they've already been looking at for over a week.
Disc.
Then all of a sudden at the end, it's, oh, well, Roger Ramey. And that's when he gets involved, right? All of a sudden now it's too flimsy. It's kind of more of a box shaped.
Yeah, it couldn't
device.
hold a human.
Couldn't hold nobody.
Yeah.
And what it was, I'm sure we'll talk about it here in just a little bit, but they were saying that it was part of Project Mogul.
Mm-hmm.
So
you got to do your spills.
Yes. But first, we're going to do a spiel.
A spiel.
It's a spiel because I'm spilling it out.
Spilling the bean.
Hey, you can find us, excuse me, man, at paranormal411.org, paranormal411 on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Remember, you could tune in live every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturdays from 8 to 10. We kind of got a little late start, but Also, if you are in the Metro Atlanta area, you can catch us at WDJY FM. That's 99.1 FM. That is 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Now, if you're outside of the Atlanta area, that's all right. You can still listen. That's WDJYFM.com, or you could go to paranormal411.org and click the link on our website. Now, we're also on Subspace Radio on all major podcast platforms. Don't miss it. Our new book, East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2. It's available on Amazon or on our website at paranormal411.org. Remember, this book right here also does have not only cryptid stuff in it, but it's got UFO stuff in it here in the East Tennessee area. Right, Jason?
Oh, yeah.
Join us.
Yes, join us.
East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2 on Amazon.
So, the Roswell Incident.
Yes.
It's one of the most famous UFO encounters in history. It unfolded in 1947.
You know, I mean, as you heard when we first started, right? It had its own, I mean, they actually told the news that they had recovered 2 discs.
Yes.
2 discs.
2 discs. But now it's not a disc.
It's a flimsy construction, kind of square.
So the story began when a rancher named Mac Brazel discovered strange debris on his property. Intrigued, he brought the unusual materials to the local sheriff, who in turn contacted the nearby Roswell Army Air Field.
Right.
Excuse me. So that's how all this got started. The initial announcement was from the news report, which you just heard, on July 8th, 1947. The Roswell Army Airfield issued a press release that sent shockwaves around the world. They announced that they had recovered a flying disc, which he said 2.
Yep.
And from a nearby ranch. And that statement described the object as being saucer shaped.
Yes.
Not a flimsy piece of material that you've seen in the picture.
Yeah. Or it being squarish.
Right.
It was, they said saucers like multiple times.
Right.
Yeah.
And it
very
was
interesting.
larger than a man, is what they also said. So, but when the news quickly spread, capturing the public's imagination and fueling speculation about extraterrestrial life, there was a retraction.
Wonder why.
I don't know why.
I mean, you know, all of a sudden they start saying, "Oh man, you know, we same year the CIA started in 47." Only Oscar says, "You see that?"
Oh,
Hey Susan. Hey, only Oscars. Merced, California. That's awesome. I used to live in Glendale.
Oh, you was in Hollywood. What? You know you was. He was a movie star.
Yeah, I wish I'd to have some money.
Stunt double.
I did some body double work while I was there. I've still got the checks to prove it, or the check stubs to prove it. I kept them because I knew no one would ever believe me.
He body doubled Steven Seagal.
Let's see, maybe. But no, you know, I mean, so you get Roger Ramey that gets involved, and then all of a sudden they bring in Project Mogul, which was these balloons they sent up. They were top secret now. They sent up these balloons, and they were supposed to measure radiation and stuff to see if over in Russia they were, you know, blowing up nuclear devices and stuff and testing devices. Yeah. And so that's what these things were for. I don't know. It's crazy.
I mean, from the initial report to the picture and now the retraction,
Well, and then the years and years and years of retraction.
Big old cover up.
Right, because after Blue Book started and all that stuff started later on all this stuff, and then the Air Force came out like 2 other times and tried to do more retractions. It's like, oh yeah, well the so-called people, we were doing tests on ejection systems and seats, and then they proved that didn't actually happen for a couple years after all that stuff.
Oh, and the bodies that they recovered, they were dummies from those ejection seats.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, trained military personnel. And you know, the one thing is, the only thing that really gets me on all this stuff is that this was a bomber group, and the only bomber group that was around at the time that this air base was. So they had some of the highest secret clearances that there was. They personally had launched weather balloons and all kinds of other stuff, so they'd know what a balloon looked like.
Mm-hmm.
These guys were at the apex of the flying. I mean, they only got the best of the best to fly and drop bombs, you know, and that's what they were. And you're saying that we can't believe them?
Right.
All of a sudden, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. It's a weather balloon.
Yeah, just 2 days later.
Yeah. That's I don't know. It's interesting.
Project Mogul.
Mogul, yes.
I'm hearing that noise.
What noise? Susan says she's not saying it's aliens, but it was aliens.
But it's aliens. I think it is. So, just 2 days later, like we said, the military retracted their initial statement. They claim that the flying disc was a weather balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Part of a top secret project known, what David said, Project Mogul. This explanation was met with skepticism by a lot of people, and the Roswell incident became a really big conspiracy theory. Only Oscar says it's not aliens, it's the CIA.
Well, I think they definitely have a lot to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Because, I mean, you look at other people that are in that field, what do they usually specialize in? Twisting the truth. And so you throw half truths in to lies, and then you can't disseminate the difference between the two. So then they're hoping you're just going to throw it all out, right?
Mm-hmm. They also pay you to hush.
Hey, you know, they paid, I'm sure you're about to talk about that.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you keep going then.
So over the years, let's get to some of the conspiracy theories.
I like it.
Around it. Over the years, numerous theories have came out about what actually happened at Roswell. Some believe that the military recovered a crashed alien spacecraft.
Oh, I hope you get that out.
Recovered a crashed alien disc and its occupants. Not just the disc, its bodies too.
Right.
And they have been concealing this information from the public. Other people think it's an experiment gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Involving advanced technology that was later classified. But one popular theory involves the idea of a government cover-up, which that's the big one.
I like that one.
So the proponents of this theory argue that the military, in collaboration with other government agencies, initially misled the public about the true nature of the Roswell incident.
They should be actors.
Yeah. They lie so good.
Yes, they do.
They believe that the government was afraid of the potential social and political implications of admitting to contact with extraterrestrial life.
Right. Well, I mean, Susan is in the chat room, but you know, it wasn't that long ago. She sent us some more videos that she's got from over by her house.
Yeah, those are some good videos.
Yeah. When they were on the show, they showed us some, and she's got even more now. Now, you know, after they said that it was Project Mogul, you know, they did that to try to hush everything up. So we're just going to say it is this. This is our project. It's a top secret project. So there you go. Here's you an answer. Now go away. But, you know, they said that first the debris was taken to Roswell Army Air Field, right? Then it went to Wright Pat, right here in Ohio, right? Not too far from here.
Yeah.
Halloween sickness is here. And then some people report that after that it went to Area 51. That it was only in Wright Pat, I guess, until Area 51 was created and built, which only Oscars, when he's talking about the CIA and all that stuff, that's who built Area 51. It was a CIA operation that built Area 51. So, yes.
So, he also mentioned Bob Lazar.
Oh, I believe Bob Lazar.
Yeah, I do too. There's too many. His story really hasn't changed a lot since it first came out.
It hasn't. That last movie or documentary that was put out with him in it, it's pretty interesting. You know, you want to talk about Bob Lazar for a minute and go off on just a quick little tangent. But he talked about not only working on one specific one, but one day he walked out and all the doors were open and he could see, what was it, like 9 other craft, I think it was, something like that. Then he started, you know, so he didn't realize that his wife was cheating on him. And they did. And so they kind of said, hey, you can't come back until you get things straight.
Yeah.
And so he thought he was in trouble. He thought something was wrong. So he started taking people out to watch these tests of these craft and filming them. They videoed them. And that's what got, you know, everything about even Area 51 started up, because people didn't even believe in Area 51 at that time. If you remember, it was one of those things that, whatever, it doesn't even exist. But what's the most intriguing out of his whole story is that every time he would do an interview after that, and he would talk about having that element 115, which didn't exist, right? It didn't exist.
No.
He said that every time he went on an interview and talked about it, he got rated by all the 3-letter agencies. And guess what they were looking for? Element 115 that didn't exist. Now, years later, guess what? They finally put on the periodical table of elements. Element 115.
Yeah, it is man-made.
They said that they haven't found a stable form. So when they create it or have it created, it was in the, what is that? The CERN collider. It's only for a few seconds and then it goes away. So they can create it, but it's not a stable form. So it goes away very quickly. But what Bob Lazar said is that they had literally, it was like in these triangle forms of a stable form of that element. Yes, only Oscars. I do think that it is interesting where he said it was found in an archaeological site. Also think that it was interesting where he talks about humans being vessels to them. Yeah, he had a lot of really interesting things that he said. And then a lot of these things he said were debriefing papers and things like that. That
I wonder by vessel if he meant hosts.
Are you thinking of the Goa'uld?
The Goa'uld. Goa'uld. Yes, Stargate comes to mind when I think about aliens and UFOs.
But he did say that they were seen as we were seen as vessels, whatever that means. Yeah, it's really interesting.
So, so this rancher thinking there might be a connection and guessing something might have crashed during a recent storm, he told the authorities, went to the sheriff. He brought some of the samples of the debris, and when the sheriff contacted the Army base, Jesse Marcel,
Yes.
he went to the crash site with Brazel and recovered a lot more debris.
Yeah, and it's funny because Marcel also took some to his house before he went on with the debris.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I heard his story.
Yeah, and his son talks about it.
Yeah,
And he said that there was stuff like aluminum foil, but you couldn't rip it, burn it, or nothing. But it could be folded, and then when you'd open up your hand, it would just pop back into place.
right.
That's interesting.
So the Newswire, and this is released by the military base.
Yes.
The many rumors regarding the flying disc became a reality when the intelligence office of the 509th Bomb Group of the 8th Air Force, Roswell Army Air Field, was fortunate enough to gain possession of a disc through the cooperation of one of the local ranchers and the sheriff's office.
Yep.
That's pretty good, pretty
Well,
detailed.
it is. And that's what gets me on this kind of stuff, though, is like, well, when we sit there and heard it, right? Every time you heard disc, multiple discs, those two discs.
Yeah.
And that's only something that we really started learning later. But they were saying it right off the bat, those two.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one, and then there was another that happened a little bit further away. But they took both with bodies. And then that's where you get the guy that was at the what was that, the morgue, that they asked if he had child-sized coffins.
Right. Yeah, the mortician.
Yeah, and he
Yeah,
actually
sorry.
got to go, and he said he's seen these child-sized beings with big heads and large eyes. Did you just get a cold chill?
I did. You give me a cold chill.
I don't know. Yes, his son does seem very reputable. And I mean, what would he gain from lying about his father anyway?
Right.
That's something that I'm wondering. I mean, 15 minutes of fame, if you want to call it fame. Exactly.
Right.
The military doesn't have any use for child-sized coffins. And why would they be asking for them?
Right.
But he said he supposedly knew a lady there or something when he delivered them, and they let him through, and he had got to see the bodies.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. So let's take a quick break. And
Okay.
when we come back,
no one
we'll-
leave, please.
Yes, don't leave. We're going to finish this up after the break with a few more stories about it.
There's tons of them.
Tons.
That
That
is a
is-
good
yes,
reason to
it
call
is.
it mortician. It is. Well, I mean, for them, it'd be like, okay, I've either got them or I don't, I guess.
So give us 6 minutes and we'll be right back.
6 minutes, 1 second.
All right.
What if the world we know is merely a fraction of reality? What if there are forces, entities, and phenomena that exist just beyond our comprehension in the shadows of the unknown? Welcome to Paranormal 411, your gateway to the unexplained and the downright chilling. Imagine, if you will, a quiet, sleepy town tucked away from the hustle and bustle of the city. The locals tell tales of a house atop a hill where strange lights flicker and eerie sounds echo in the dead of night. Some say it's haunted, others claim it's a portal to another realm. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain, those who venture there are never quite the same. Or picture this, a clear, starry night in the heart of the desert. Suddenly a blinding flash cuts across the sky, a craft of unknown origin moving at impossible speeds. It hovers, then vanishes, leaving only questions and a sense of awe. Could it be visitors from another world, or perhaps a secret government project? These stories, these encounters with the unknown, are what we love here at Paranormal 411. Our mission? To explore the unexplored, to question the unquestioned, and to shine a light into the darkest corners of the paranormal. We've journeyed through haunted houses and UFO sightings, and into the mysteries of cryptids and psychic phenomena, and pondered the existence of other dimensions. And yet, there is so much more to discover. Paranormal 411 is your guide to the unexplained and the extraordinary. Here we talk about the mysteries that lurk in the shadows of our world, from haunted houses and UFO sightings to cryptids and psychic phenomena. We love to question, to explore, and to understand the unknown. There's a world of mystery out there just waiting to be discovered. So why not join us on this journey into the unknown? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and become a part of the Paranormal 411 community. Together, we can uncover the secrets that the universe holds. Welcome to Paranormal 411. Your journey into the unknown starts here. Join us.
In the heart of Madisonville, Tennessee, lies a pizzeria like no other. Step through the door of Legends and Lore Pizzeria and be transported to a realm where paranormal and cryptid encounters, along with mouth-watering pizza, go hand in hand. Meet Eddie and his crew, who serve up slices of the supernatural along with the best pies in town. With the walls adorned with eerie artifacts, indulge in piping hot slices that melt in your mouth and tease your taste buds. And it's not just the locals who love the incredible pizza. Legends and Lore has been selected as the best pizza joint in all of Monroe County. As lovers of everything pizza and the paranormal, the owners have mastered the art of crafting unforgettable combinations that will leave you wanting more. To stay connected with this mystical eatery, follow Legends and Lore Pizzeria on Facebook, where tales of their latest creations and upcoming specials will be shared. Make sure to browse their custom menu, featuring legendary pizzas like the Chupacabra Ranch and the Exorcist. So, whether you have an appetite for the supernatural or simply seek the best pizza in town, Legends and Lore is the place to be. Come for the unforgettable flavors, stay for the captivating stories, and find yourself in a world where legends and pizza collide.
Get ready to rock with the electrifying sound of Catalyst, a band that's sure to leave you wanting more. With their powerful lyrics and killer riffs, Catalyst is a great sound in the world of rock music. You can listen and find Catalyst on Bandcamp, or go to the link at paranormal411.org and click on their banner.
Even if they will got no
All
All
right.
We're back.
We're back after that 6 minute, 1 second break.
Woo.
So only Oscar says our eyesight is interesting to him. The light spectrum is far greater than we can see. And he's come to think that there's more around us, literally
Out of our eyes.
out of our eyesight.
Yep. Well, you know, I think that, you know, that's what I think of a lot of that on a lot of these paranormal, you know, things from UFOs, ghosts, all of that, right? Because like only Oscars just said, you know, our vision, our spectrum of sight is like this, but we've got, you know, this much on this side of it and this much on this side of it that we can't see, you know, infrared and all these different things we can't see in those spectrums.
Yeah.
That things could be just right here next to you and and we not even see it.
I just figured that out.
Same thing goes with our hearing.
The other day when we was up here doing the SLS camera.
Yeah.
I was saying, what happened to the dots that the camera's supposed to be putting out?
Yeah.
You can't see them.
Nope.
I said, well, I seen them on Eddie's.
Yeah.
But I was looking through a different camera. I was looking through an IR camera.
Yep.
Then I could see them.
Yes.
That's pretty wild.
Yes.
So Roger asked the question.
Yes.
Why would they put non-human in a coffin?
I think they were just doing it to transport them.
Why would they care?
I think it's not, I don't really think it's about carrying. I think it's just transporting them to get them out so that people won't ask questions.
Yeah.
In a way to where they could get them somewhere that they could start studying them. That's, you know.
That's a good question, though.
No, those excellent questions.
So,
thank you, only Oscars.
Yes. The story of this incident was rediscovered back in 1978 by nuclear physicist and ufologist Stanton Friedman.
Now, this is when it, excuse me, this is when it really went and exploded again, you know.
Blew up. And this is 20, how many years later?
A lot.
19 years later.
Yeah.
He was tipped off that a retired military man had an interesting story to tell. None other than, guess who? Jesse Marcel.
Yeah. Didn't they film him talking about it too?
I think so.
Yeah, I thought they did.
So Marcel told Friedman the weather balloon explanation had been a cover story.
Yes.
And that the photos had been staged, the weather balloon debris being substituted for the real wreckage. And he claimed that everyone involved in the retrieval was clear the object had indeed been an extraterrestrial ship, a disc.
Yes.
So over the next few years, researchers dug a little deeper into the mystery, tracking down many of the key players, locating additional witnesses, and trying to piece together what had happened. A lot of retired military personnel who had been based at Roswell, they corroborated some elements of the crashed spacecraft, of the crashed disc, and added their own details. But, you know, we still have those skeptics. It was a prank, or it was all this and that and the other.
All these people are lying and blah, blah, blah,
all
blah.
These high-ranking military retired people are full of it.
Right.
Yeah, you trust them to protect your rear end, but when it comes to something like this, you don't.
Yeah, they got to be lying. They've got to be.
No.
Come on now. What other explanation is there? There's little green men on Mars. You know, back to Roger's question real quick, and something that only Oscars just said. Excuse me. The Aurora incident that happened in Texas,
Yes.
April 17th, 1897, where a UFO crashed, right?
Mhm.
Then they buried the bodies. They actually had a Christian burial for the bodies. And at one point, they actually had headstones.
Yeah.
But then they removed them because people came around, started nosing around and trying to dig them up. And they actually moved them and reburied them without headstones. So, I think that whether they're not from here or not, I think most people would still try to do something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good, explanation of something like that was supposedly was done.
Hmm.
I just had to bring that up. Sorry.
So did you pull up some more eyewitness accounts?
I did not.
Did
No.
not.
No.
So let's talk about Roswell now. They've embraced its heritage as a UFO museum. So a lot of people believe that this did happen. It was UFOs, aliens.
Well, they have a huge freaking, what is that? Like
an annual event. It marks the occasion.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, in the 90s, I think again that, there was a video that came out
Oh yeah.
of the alien autopsy
I
that
remember
was
that.
supposedly happened. It was connected to Roswell. Do you remember watching that?
I do remember. I remember it being on primetime TV.
It looked real.
Well, not only did it look real and everything, but it hey Ruth, how you doing?
Hey, Ruth.
Scott, aka Jason. Susan says she watched it. Only Oscar says they liked the video. So for me, look, I remember watching it and I was enamored with it, right? I was like, and my head just swam because here they had, all these people in Hollywood, all these special effects people and all this stuff. And they said, that can't be done. We can't do that. If you know how to do that, come work for me, and exactly the special effects guys talking about the video.
Well, the thing was that the supposedly dummy that they created, it matched the description of the reports given by some of these military people, like their
Right.
leg being all messed up and
Right.
stuff.
So have you heard the story of the guy? Because remember they had a frame of the original movie or the original one for sale. And what was interesting about it was that he says, look, we did recreate some of it, but a lot of the video was real.
Yeah.
He said the problem was that the guy that he bought it from showed it to him because he was there looking for what he originally said that he did was he found, bought original videos of like Elvis is what I think he was a major dealer in. And this guy had some or something, but then he said, hey, you want to see this thing? And when he unsealed it, it started decaying. Well, it was a year later before he could come up with the money to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And that a lot of the footage had been lost. And so the original footage, So they recreated what was lost. Now, this is his story. So it was he finally did say that yes, we did recreate quite a bit of it, but there was quite a bit of it that was still original. And that's when, you know, the world kind of just went, you know, if you've done part of it, then you can't prove you didn't do it all.
Right. Yeah. Too bad.
Yeah.
That would have been some good evidence.
It would have. I mean, even if he didn't have all of it and he was able to preserve what he had, look at what some of the most famous, video of Bigfoot, right? The Patterson-Gimlin film. That's not even the surviving true film. They don't even know where the original is still. But look at what that does. It throws everything on its ear, right? You have tons of people who say it's fake, tons of people who say it's real. But at least it's the footage. And it's only, 20 seconds or 30 seconds of footage. So if they would have at least done that, then, only Oscars. Ruth, it's hot there. It's hot here too. It was like 98 today or something, 97 or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
It was warm.
It's supposed to be cooler tomorrow, though.
Yeah, next week's supposed to be really nice.
Yeah. Oscar says he hasn't been outside since June. I bet it is hot in California.
California.
Woo.
Yeah, that's where he is. That's also where my sister Ruth is. So
She's in California?
yeah, Ruth lives in California. Yep. Who back then would wear a costume with breasts? Yeah. Well, and that's another thing, right? Is the whole breast thing. It's like, so the best costumes at the time, at least movie wise, was Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
They were nowhere near as good as that. Nowhere near as good as that. But who would try to create something and then add more complexity to it by adding breasts to it?
Yeah.
Yes, Susan. One of the aliens supposedly was alive and then died later, is what they said, or what some of the people who went to the crash and stuff said.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
So I'm trying to get this picture of one of the supposedly photographs.
Oh, of one of the
from Roswell.
Gotcha.
Try to get it pulled up here. And it does look like a little child.
Is that or is that one that guy came out from Peru saying that there's a Peruvian mummy?
No,
things?
this is Roswell.
Okay.
Let's see if I can put it on the screen.
But you could do it.
I'm gonna try to. Maybe.
Gotta go to window.
Yeah. Here we go. Come on now.
Oh, I see what you did. Bam. Hear about
So here's a picture, supposedly one
leaked.
of the Roswell. Yes,
Yeah.
leaked picture.
That's
That is.
I mean, it looks anatomically correct if you look how far his arms go down and stuff like that. And
I'd say what, 4 foot tall?
maybe
4 feet.
it would help if you had, something there to kind of show, or at least that you could look at and say, okay, well, I know one of those is, X number feet tall or whatever, but
yeah,
it's interesting.
Interesting.
It is interesting. I think Roger said something in the comments there.
Roger, what did you say? Let's see.
I can't see it. A lot of people. I just saw the new Planet of the Apes. Not close, huh?
Still not even close.
Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes was like 60s or something, wasn't it, Jason?
Yeah, it was in the 60s.
Here, let's be right about what we say.
Yeah.
let's look it up.
Let's trust Google.
Yeah, Google knows everything.
Google it.
Let's see first.
While we're waiting, I'll play us a little Getting Down music. There we go.
So it's 68.
1968.
Yep.
And this Patterson Gimlin film come out in 67, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's be right about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nowhere near close. Here we go. Let's get down again. Waiting on Google.
October of 1967.
October 1967.
Yep.
Amazing.
Isn't that interesting?
So that early, I was a child. I wasn't born then.
I was not yet. I was still 8 years away from.
You still wasn't even thought of.
Nope. I wasn't even a glimmer in anyone's eyes yet.
So you got anything else on Roswell?
No, I mean, not really. The thing that gets me about the Roswell incident again is that, after it got brought up again and resurfaced and then it kind of took off, right?
Yeah.
Then the Air Force thought, hey, we need to try to close this up because they don't believe us. So then they came out with a new excuse. And I think that's one we was talking about earlier. The one where they said that it was crash test dummies and whatever they was doing. And then it was like 2 or 3 years later, they came back out and told the truth again and told a completely different story of what it was.
Yeah.
So, go ahead and figure out, is it truth A, truth B, or truth C? These are the flavors you get, but they're all vanilla. They may look like chocolate. They may look like strawberry, but it's only vanilla.
Right.
You only get the illusion of choice.
I do want
to believe me.
I do want to tell this about, this is a story of in 1989, a friend who worked as a nurse at the Roswell Army Air Field had accidentally walked into an examination room where doctors were bent over the bodies of 3 creatures. They apparently resembled humans, but with small bodies, spindly arms, and giant bald heads.
And when was this?
It was back then, but they just claimed this lady that was a friend of the nurse came out in 1989.
Gotcha. I was like, 1989, that's way after the fact.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, look, you're going to have a lot of people that finally do those deathbed confessions. Watch any of the hearings in Congress. Yeah, I did. But this is the funny thing is that I told everybody way back then, don't get your hopes up, because they're going to talk about it. Then they're going to try to put the cat back in the bag, because you got to think this is billions of dollars, billions and billions of dollars. That is, they don't have to account for, could go into these black projects. And they don't want anyone to find out where these billions of dollars are going.
Right.
And if they opened it up and had to have transparency, then they would have to be able to see where this money went. So they're going to fight it tooth and nail. It ain't going to happen. On the side of admitting it, they came as close as they could or didn't, depending on how you look at it, because they would say, because I mean, you had Grush and stuff out there, which I think he's very believable about what he knew, but he's the first one to say he did not have firsthand knowledge. Every bit of the knowledge he got came from people above him, higher ranking, or people that were in these black ops, right? These black operations that were building these things or looking over these things or whatever. So you're getting secondhand knowledge. Now, when you talk about Dave Fravor and stuff like that, that they talked to. Now these guys, firsthand knowledge. They were the pilots that videoed these things. They were the pilots that saw. Yes, on the Oscars. Yeah, he never saw anything. Yeah. And he says it. He says it multiple times. I never saw nothing. I never saw anything. It was either in briefings or papers or what he was personally told from these other people that were in these programs. That's the only way he got any of his information. So none of it is firsthand. Like I said, before they got them up there, the people that was before them never heard of Roswell for some reason. Now, they went to go to a debriefing on UFOs or UAPs, as they like to say. I like when acronyms change. It's funny. But when they were grilled about all these different things, the Rendlesham Forest and all this stuff, they didn't know what she was talking about. I don't know. I've never heard of that. I have to go try to study up on it. Well, what the heck? What meeting did you come for? Because we're here to talk about, we're here to talk about UFOs. And they're like, oh, well, we don't know about that. I don't know. And like I said it from the beginning. If they can, they will stall, and they won't say nothing.
Yeah, we're not ready.
I think we're past time. I think we're past ready.
I think there's more believers than non-believers nowadays.
I'm one of these people who believe that we have been slowly fed the information over years through all these movies, right? It's been trickled down to us, right? All these years. 99% of the people you probably ask on the street, they're like, yeah, maybe. And they just keep on, right? It's not like it's a big deal.
Right.
The earth ain't going to stop turning if they say, hey, guess what? Yeah.
We've been visited.
Yeah.
Or, they could have been here before us.
I believe if you read a lot of passages in the Old Testament of the Bible, it proves it.
Yeah.
But, that's a story for another day.
Indigenous people.
Yes.
All around the world believe.
Yeah. They talk about it.
Yeah.
You look at the Dogon tribe, they knew about Sirius A and B before we even mapped them, before we even knew they were there.
And what about the tablets from
Mesopotamia?
Yeah.
Yep.
The Anunnaki.
Yep.
How did they know all that about the stars?
Yep. The orbits of the planets and all that stuff. Yes. Do I believe there's something out there? 100%. I do. Just like I believe there's ghosts, and I believe that there's a lot of things. But will our government, and this is a question that I ask myself all the time, will our government ever decide that we have the right to know, even though we the people are the ones paying the bill, do we have the right to know that these other beings are here visiting us or have been here visiting us? One or the other, right? Or are they going to, keep pushing it off and say, you're crazy?
Yeah, a lot of
people.
Why
are you crazy? Why are you talking about this stuff? Do you need to get institutionalized? because that's what they think. I mean, they put such a stigma on these topics that when you talk about them, people are like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like an old Bram Stoker's movie or so. It's, you know, get back.
There's certain people, certain groups that run this planet.
Yeah.
The people don't run it, own it, or anything.
Right.
There's
I
more
hope.
groups that call the shots. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Right. Well, you know, you also had Ruth, you had Obama before that supposedly was asking about it, and you had the Clintons before that supposedly asked about it, and they all got shut down. So only Oscar says, I ask, how could that star knowledge be passed down by word of mouth? The telephone game proves that it's, and that's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact. I think that when it comes to stuff like that, I mean, right now we've got proof of it because it's on clay tablets when it comes to that stuff in Mesopotamia, in cuneiform writings. But, you know, the telephone, like they said, only Oscar says, you know, it proves, because I mean, we can't get 10 people and it started at one end and it ends up at the other end the same.
Oh yeah,
It never does. It never will. But now, when it comes to like indigenous and stuff like that, they say that it's taught to them people in a way. I don't know. I don't do this for a living, but the way that it's taught to them, that they remember it verbatim because of how it was taught and the importance put behind it being right.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, because we're all human. And one thing that I know is that fish that you caught seems to grow with every other person you tell.
Yeah.
No matter your intentions. I mean, you did catch a fish.
A whopper.
But man, that sucker, I mean,
Thing as long as my leg.
If I didn't jump out of the water, he's trying to eat me,
Yeah.
you know? So, I mean, that's what I think is that it's hard for me to believe that something could be orally, traditionally passed down.
Yeah. But like you said, we got the clay tablets and all the writing in stone to prove a lot of it.
Yes. And also that those were, you know, taken and put into other languages and things like that. So I think they did it on purpose to make sure that the knowledge was passed down.
And I'm sure there are probably some mistakes in translation, but the gist of the story's there.
Yes. And, you know, that's the whole thing, right? They always say there's a seed of truth in every lie, right? And that's fact. I think that everything starts with that seed of truth. It's just the same thing as that fish I caught. And all of a sudden,
fish.
Yeah, I caught a fish. But now what's the actual size of it, right? Did I throw it back because it was too small? Or could I stick my hand down its throat because it's so big, right? I mean, that's where the story really finds, you know. Yeah. I'm agreement there. The math that was involved is amazing, especially when they say that, you know, circumference and all that stuff equals the circumference of the earth and the speed of light and all these other different things. And
I think the speed of light's really slow.
I mean, if you look at it in some aspects, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, because you get two entangled particles, they could be billions of light years away from each other and talk and communicate with each other instantaneously.
Right.
So there is things out there faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
We just don't know what they are. Well, and that's the truth, Ruth, also, is translating languages is never an exact science for sure.
All right. I think we're finished.
Are we done?
Yeah, I think we are. It's been a good show.
It's been a great show. I wanted to say something before we ended this show, though.
Okay.
Me and my wife was talking about this earlier today, and I kind of wanted to just talk about it for a second before we ended this show. We started doing this 2012.
2012, exactly.
So a minute ago, right? A minute ago, we started doing this, and I remember doing those first shows. They were awesome. I mean, I loved every show we did, right?
Yeah.
The thing is that I remember something that we have changed and for the better. But we talked in absolutes back then. This is the absolute truth. This is the we're right. This is the truth. It's nothing else. This is the truth. And over the years of us doing this, we don't do that anymore. Because it truly is an enigma. Yes, that's right. Nothing is absolute. And there's only a few things that are as absolute as we know, right? You know absolutely that there is gravity on this planet. We know that, right? And math, right? We know there is certain fundamental laws that we know. Those are, at least as we know them through our physics, are absolutes. But there's only very few of those. But this isn't a bashing thing. But we used to be those guys that did that. We don't anymore. We search for the truth. That's why we changed a lot of this stuff, right? We're in the search for the truth. We don't know the truth. And we never talk in absolutes anymore.
Right.
This could be. We don't know. But it's an awesome thing to do, because when searching for the truth, if you don't already have your mind made up, you may be able to get there. And so I just wanted to bring that up because I don't know if you contemplated that or not.
Never.
I
remember back in the day, though.
Yeah.
Everything.
It was absolute.
This is what it is.
Yes. And you heard it here.
Yes.
On Project Dark Corona. Right?
Project Dark Corona.
Yeah, that's what we were before.
But now, yeah, like you said, we just like to research the stuff, give people the information for them to decide if it's their thing to believe in or whatever. But we do have our opinions.
We do have opinions. But they are opinions.
Right. The answers are in our DNA.
I think that's a very good possibility. One of these days, maybe we will fully decode. Because I think the junk that they say that's in there isn't junk.
Right.
I think that might be the maker's mark or something, I think there's some crazy stuff in there, possibly. But that's it. I'm done.
All right.
I just wanted to
thank everybody for watching and listening. David's going to do his spiel again.
I just wanted to let everybody know that we appreciate you, and we'll see you next week, hopefully on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday.
I do have an announcement. I filled out the application today to be at Dead Man's Farm.
Oh, did they finally send it?
They had it up on their Facebook for the applications and stuff. So I filled one out, and October the 12th.
We're going to be at Dead Man's Farm.
We will probably be at Dead Man's Farm.
I know that they said that they wanted us there besides just on that one special day, but
this is one of their paid vendor things they're going to start doing. They're going to do it like annually, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple times. But we're going to be there, hopefully.
Yes. And where else are we going after that? We're going to be
September. In about 2.5 weeks, we will be at Scream Fest.
Yeah, in Athens,
down at the Klieg Mansion in Athens, Tennessee.
And then
Scream Chamber
in October
the 21st.
We're going to be in Crossville. at the
Yes.
Upper Cumberland Bigfoot Festival.
Yeah, let me make sure about the Scream Fest. It might be the 21st and October 19th for the other one. I may have them mixed up, but we'll let you know the next show.
Yes. Can't wait. We're going to have fun.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have a party. Thank you on the Oscars.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks everybody. Thanks Roger. Thanks Ruth. Thanks everybody that's in there. Remember, you can find us at paranormal411.org, Paranormal 411 on Facebook, YouTube, and X. You can tune in live every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturdays from 8 to 10 Eastern Time. Also on Saturday night from 10 to 11, if you're in the metro Atlanta area, you catch us at WDJY FM. That's 99.1 FM. Now, for listeners outside of Atlanta, you could visit us at WDJYFM.com, or you can click the link on our website. We're also on Subspace Radio and all major podcast platforms. Remember, don't miss our new book. Yes, East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2. Beautiful hardback covered book here. It's available on Amazon, or you can go to paranormal411.org and buy the book. Join us.
And Susan says Scream Fest is September 21st.
Oh, thank you, Susan.
Yes, thank you. So we'll see y'all Tuesday.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.